Okay guys, we're going to do a Forex trade and it's going to be on New Zealand JPY.
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. And this is your first time here, I'm the big fella Scruff, and sitting next to me is Wonderwig, who often wonders what I'm going to be getting up to next. And why? Well, because like an aging child, to be honest. But I might be an aging child and I might arse about, but I am pretty good on the charts. And I kind of prove that every day because I'm one of the few, if the only person, that will trade in the moment. But not only do I trade in the moment, I tell people what I'm doing beforehand. It's not a signal service. It's just putting my head on the block and being accountable for my actions. And I think that's the fairest way. You see anybody that's sort of going, oh, I took this trade, check the date. If it isn't pretty much close to when the video was made, the chances are it's hindsight. And let's be honest, it's very easy to trade if you know what the outcome is. What I'm about to do is a little bit more difficult because you will see it start to finish, entries and exit, live. Can't be any fairer than that, can it? So I better have a sip of my coffee because we all know Scruffy likes it coffee and he likes it in his Scruffy mug. And if you want one of these, that's what keeps Winky awake at night thinking of good ideas for you lot. And you'll find a merch shelf below. And she's, what's what?
You've wrote extra on the board.
Where you said, where's the gold bikini? And I'm sort of living in hope.
Topless.
Go on then. I dare you. No? Oh, just shame. You're a cracking set.
Oh, that's disgusting.
All right. Well, so have I, actually. Mine are bigger than yours.
Oh, I'm no doubting it.
Actually, they're not. See how big the move is.
You dirty old man.
I'm going to get it wrong, aren't I? I've got to be quick, actually, because we're going out. Winky's decided that she's taking up golf to get us fit. So we're going to have lifestyle on the golf course. And I'm looking forward to it because I like to play golf. But what are we looking at? Well, the first thing I'm looking at is why I'm looking at this pair in the first place. Well, I was trading earlier on, told the guys I was looking at the DAX. That's finished and done with now. But we're now looking at this. Now, this was pulled out from the sheet. I purposely didn't look at it this morning because I didn't see the point. Because it wouldn't start sparking up till later on today, getting ready for tonight. So it's currently 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I wanted to trade this in the New York session. I don't like to trade opens too much, so I normally let the markets sort themselves out a little bit. Then I'll have a look at it. All right. So that's kind of why I'm doing it. Now the basket, as you can see up here, has only really pulled out one pair. New Zealand versus JPY. Okay. There are these that I can fall back on if I so wish. But they're a little bit wishy-washy, and the only one I would look at is pound JPY, but that needed to be on the same line as it, and it's not. So there's not enough real movement within it. If I didn't have anything to work with, then I would have just looked at cable. But because it's pulled that out as a contender, and I also want to show you how this works, that's why I'm doing it, all right? Now, the first thing is, they're the majors. It would normally say in here whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't. If it's fair, it'll pull out the chart to look at, which is these. And if one of them is in here, I will automatically look at that pair, all right? Because the majors are the ones that move, okay? Very, very simple. But we've got New Zealand JPY. So what are we looking at? Well, there it is there. New Zealand is the strongest. Very strong. JP, very weak, collapsed. What's the change? Well, that's losing ground, that's gaining ground. So that's telling me that this is going to move, and then the secondary engine has looked at it and it's telling me it's a B grade. Now I like B grade trades and I like A grades, you know, they're my go-tos. It's telling me to monitor it, it's telling me it's pretty good, but it's also telling me to wait. So it's not quite ready, but the criteria it's looking for is there. So that's what it is. So we're going to be looking to buy it, and we have to wait. Now, why are we waiting? Well, because of that. In fact, it's picked it up. So while I've been chuntering on, this has been thumping down. So that sheet's engine has worked out that this is probably not a good idea at this moment in time. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to put some parameters into it so we can see what it is we're looking at, and then we're going to drop some orders into it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go out to the daily. Let's just strip all of this off. We'll do it from scratch. And I think we probably only need daddy levels today. Now, daddy levels are the day before. So just drop these in. I'm just going to put some thin lines on here because they're not really true turning points. They're just where the market has been and where it's potentially moving to. Okay. Now you also kind of need a midpoint in this as well, which is there. Now this one I'm just going to put as a dotted line, just like so. I'm going to drop that on the middle bit. All right. So that's there. But what else can we see just while we're looking at this daily? Is there any key levels that we can see? Well, there is, because you can see there's a clear point here. Now, there are different ways to mark a chart up, and I do normally mark it up slightly different, but if I'm doing it quick, I can just do it through iShot to cage up a price. See a swing there, swing there. So that's caged the price quite significantly. Okay. Is there anything else that I can see inside this that might be of an interest? Well, there's that. Okay. That is quite substantial. So how's the price and everything reacting to that? Well, let's have a look. Well, let's widen this out and we can sort of see it. Well, sure enough, there's a 50% just there. So we're trading above the 50% of a fib. We're also looking at pushing above the 50% of yesterday. So the market is genuinely up and we're trading above the midpoint there. So that could come down, bounce and shoot away up. That is quite a sustained move quite recently. So I'm going to keep half an eye on that. What else have we got? That's about it for the daily. That'll do. I mean, we can put in that 23 as well and the 38. Because they are quite relevant. That one. And that one. They're relevant. So let's have a look, see what's happening on a 4 hour. Well, there's what we've just drawn in with fibs. You can see that it's clustering. It's pushed up, pushed down, swung to the top, coming back down again. Here, that's sustained. So we could get some movement off that and fade it back up for a few pips. Now we've got this. Okay. What else have we got on here? Now this is quite interesting because we've got this. Now that's caught my eye. Fib from there kind of to the top. That's a wick on an already moved the other direction. So that's the last candle of that. It's hit the 61 coming down onto these. So these are going to be entry exits. So there. And I'm going to set pending orders for these. So we can go off to play golf. Because Joanne's got a lesson in sort of half an hour. But I'll set this up. I'll just leave the camera running. And we'll see if it's good, bad or indifferent. But we've got a decent premise. Right, we've got a trading arena. We've got ins and outs. Very good. You're coming down. You've got a extended move here. Slamming down. Okay, well, if that's slamming down, where will it go to? One of these levels. You've got 1, 2, 3 that I could potentially move to. You've got another entry point here. Exit point here, here, here. And then contained between these two big markers here. So let's have a look, see what else we've got. All right. Well, there's that 15-minute running down. That candle's running out of steam. So I can put an order on here to start with. Just look to put that up a bit. Okay. So we'll just move this into place. So there's an entry point. And then you can have an exit point, maybe it's there. All right, that's 69 quid. So very good. What else can we do? Well, there's another level here. So I could even move it down onto that level. Just leave that where it is. Right. It's in. Right, it's triggered because of the spread and one thing and another. Ba-boom. So what can we do now? Well, now we know we have different other entry points. So I can put another order down here. Let's put this down into 5 minutes so I can show you. Now, you could say this is a falling knife, but it's on a 5-minute chart and it's not as aggressive as you think it is. It just looks a bit naughty. Let's just put that down and look to buy that. Place it there. Now, I'm using the blue ones mainly as my entry exits. What we're going to do, should we put that there? Tell you what, we'll target this double cluster here. It's between them, that should be all right. So we've got one order here, one order there, and we can put another one on this. And then if it gets under here, we'll have to start working to get out of trouble. Okay, that's the plan, he says. So let me work this out. Bear with me just a second, guys. Okay. Right. Just drop this into place, which is there. And we'll have that there. Excellent. All right. So, just in recap, so you can see what we're doing. Let me pull this back into place. We're looking to buy this. It was based on the 1 hour chart, which is my anchor chart. It says it's a good trade. Told me to wait. Well, we did. We waited a little bit. The New Zealand is incredibly strong. JP incredibly weak. On the change, JP is losing ground. Kiwi is gaining ground. All right. So that helps reinforce the buy of sorts. Now from here, went out to the daily. We looked at the high, the high, the low, the open, the close, and the midpoint of yesterday's candles to give us a preliminary set of levels that I could bounce off. You could see the swing there, and you could see the swing there. Give us two levels that would give us an arena for this to work within. Then we've seen a fib based on an extended move, which is this one. Now, when you're looking at fibs, you can also use this one here as well, because this lot is contained in there. But I'm looking for a quick move. So that was the strongest move, and that's a power shift. And a power shift is where there's excessive buying, runs out of steam, and then there's a retracement, which is profit taking and opposing positions, etc. Blah, blah, blah. But the general motion of the market is up. If we look out to the weekly, you can kind of see it's up there. It's pushing up, back up into these areas. Drop it down into 4 hour. You can see that it's in a range. So what we're doing is we're just watching it come back into this cluster to bounce off the levels to move higher. Very, very simple. The anchor, which is what we're interested in, is what we're looking at. I could see this. You can see the collapse on that into all of this dirty candle situation. But that is sustained. A little bit of profit taking, thump, flush it out, picks new orders up, and then back away up. And as long as it stays between that black line and that black line, I'm happy. So that's why I've staged it to there. And we've got 1, 2, 3 orders, so that it's not very painful. Might look bad, but it's not. Very simple. Could even have another one here to get me out of trouble, but I'll look at that later. I'll just dip my toe in the water to start with. And then we're going to trade it back up into these 2 levels. Here. Why? Base of these cluster points. But also it's the tops of this. So it's trading it down to the bottom of the range and back up into the range. And then hopefully we'll get some money out of it. All right. So that's the premise. So I'll just leave it running. And you can kind of watch it play out. Okay, guys, it's been a long day. I'm back. Like I said, I was going to set and forget this. Did an interview tonight with a company. So that kept me off the screens a little bit as well. We're now going to manage this out because it's late at night and I don't really want to chew on too much. But I may put a quick trade into the DAX. Let me just look at this trade though. So I was right that this is going to be a buy. It's down, it's pushing up. And I was also right to wait on till late afternoon. Now at this moment in time, this is it net positive. Okay. So if you look at here, it's net positive to a $5. All right. The bottom ones are paying the top off. The question is, what do I want to do? Do I want to hold on to this or do I want to kill it? Well, pushing up and the pressures is let's just say it's hard work. So we've got nothing running. What we're going to do is we're going to kill this off. So we're going to close it all. There we go. Why am I doing this? Well, it's 8 o'clock at night and it didn't really go to plan. The guys in the squad will tell you that I work on 1, 2, 3 as the trade, 4 and 5 as get out of jail free, and I just want to get out of the trade. This is one of those situations where I got in wrong. I got in on this movement here, expecting it to push back to there. Didn't quite make it, and then it just fell away. It went thump. Brilliant. My conviction was still correct in the sense that this is moving up. And look where it's found. It found the levels perfectly. Down, hit the level because it was mapped out correctly, and then came back up. So this was just one of those, I got in too quick, but management made certain it didn't kill me off. And that management was staging the positions. It meant I was able to do this. Now, if we look at this, you know, it's got some red marks on it. I got clipped royally here. Now, another lesson is I shouldn't really have sized up on that. What I should have done is gone on it a 5 and then stepped it back 5, but I was kind of looking at it. I thought it was going to run. I thought I'd double it up and just have a couple of positions rather than my normal 5, and it belted me. What's the lesson? Don't change your rules. Stick to what you know. Right? So I paid the price for it, but I worked the chart and I got the money out. Principle here. I should never really have took the trade, but I felt honor bound to do it because the guys are constantly after me in the squad. They want to see this, they want to see that, and I feel duty bound to do it. But the difference is, if I'm wrong, I'll recognize I'm wrong and I'll get out. So today is really an exercise in saving your bacon. We can't always get it right, boys and girls. We definitely can't. And something that I often say, can't win them all, but you can manage them all. Now, in the interview, I think I kind of skew with the guys I was speaking to because they ask me various questions like, oh, what's your risk reward and all of that. I don't give a shit about risk reward. I really don't give a monkeys because I think it sets you up for a fall. You've got more chance of it going wrong than you have going right. I work on ROI, return on investment. I'll put X amount of money into the equation to make X amount of money or use that money wisely. I don't go willy-nilly. So ask me about win rate. Well, my win rate's pretty high. So I'm very interested in my win rate. And they were a bit shocked when I said, well, if you're under 50%, you're gambling and you should give it up. And they're like, what? But I mean it. If you're less than 50% win rate, you are not reading the conditions of the market, you're gambling, and you're playing a numbers game. That's not trading. If you're good at your job, you should be getting it right more than you're getting it wrong. Simple as. But today, even though I have got it wrong, I still got out. And I got out pretty reasonably well. Now I can sort of showboat, go back to market and look to put a trade on, but I've been paid today, guys. I've been paid very, very well, even though I lost a bit of money. But the question is, did I lose the money? No, I didn't. And I'll explain that one. It's not mine till the moment I bank it. I start with 0, I end with 1. Doesn't matter what happens in the middle. Really doesn't. And these are concepts that newer traders and people who don't actually know what they're doing will never understand. But if you're in business, you know you're not going to get it right all the time. So you have contingency plans to get out of it, but you use your money and your resources wisely. That's what I do every day. So there we go. Is today a good day? Yes. Why? Because I didn't wing it. I recognised some criteria. I followed the plan that I stick to. When that criteria changed into a way of getting out because things weren't quite going my way, I had a method to get out. So damage control is as much part of the process as winning. Hope that helps. If you're stuck, very easy found. You find all my contact details below. If you want to try a prop fund, the 5%ers are there. They've kindly given me 5% discount for you guys to use. There's online journal there. If you want to try that, you'll be able to try that free. And of course, the Scruffy squad. And you'll be made most welcome. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.